secret, the last 3 years have been extra difficult for students throughout this country. They have been expected to keep up with their schoolwork amidst a global pandemic that took a major toll on the education system. But new data reveals some troubling signs of where things stand for American students. Test scores from 8th graders showing record low performances on history courses, as well as the first ever decline in civics classes. Reading and math scores also falling by the largest amount ever recorded. Joining us now is Kerry Sautner, who works as the Chief Learning Officer at the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia. Kerry, thanks for joining us on this. So you're looking at the numbers here, right? And it's not just what you would logically think be the effects of the pandemic because of these scores and how these students are performing. You look at since 2014, right? This percentage has been dropping pretty steadily, where students are performing below, quote unquote, basic on history exams. What do you make of some of the reasons why this is happening?
And I'm really glad to be here. And I'm glad you pointed that out, too, because so often we think, oh, it's because of the last 3 years. And that has a significant impact on it. But when we look at the 4 years before that, we see that steady decline in history. And when we talk about our nation and all the news that you're sharing today, we need to prepare our students to be well-rounded students, to be able to know their history, their civics, and be able to read and interpret sources. So unbelievably powerful. So what is happening in these areas, and where are we not moving the needle forward? There's so many factors that fall into this. You know, if it was one and we could solve it, that would be fantastic, but that's not how education works. One of the key things, though, what we know we need as a solution is to give more time to history and civics in classrooms across this country, more high quality curriculum, and more teacher support. We need to really embed that into every single grade, and not just one grade in high school and maybe, if you're lucky, one grade in middle school.
If we also kind of look at the politicization of education in this country as well, right? You're looking at book bans, you're looking at entire parts of our history not wanting to be taught in certain schools in this country. A politicization, as I mentioned, of public school curriculum in general. How is that really contributing to what we're seeing?
Massively. So when we think about it, our kids aren't in a bubble. They're not unaware of what's happening in our country. They're not unaware of how family members or community members are talking about history and civics. They're watching the news. They're involved in all of this. And our republic, our constitutional republic, is based off of coming together with different viewpoints and listening to each other. It's unbelievably important for this to work. Compromise, unbelievably important for this to work. Our students are seeing it across the country, and we just looked at new data coming out this year that was so powerful, but it also looked at classrooms that aren't working. Our kids are not listening to each other. They're having more heated debates, and that's not a healthy debate. When you want to talk to each other and you want to look at different sources, you want to share different viewpoints, a big part of that is hearing and asking questions and understanding different perspectives. That's not what they're doing. It's getting heated and it's shutting down.
Yeah, active listening. That is certainly something that we talk about a lot in our own profession as journalists as well, and interviewing people like you, but also something that we want our children to do as well in their education. Kerry Sautner, we thank you for this really important topic. We have got a lot more coming up, folks. You are watching MSNBC. Our second hour starts right now.